PE teacher kept making fun of me because I was not athletic, and I made him vomit from exhaustion in front of the whole class. I was born with a heart problem and had surgery when I was little. I'm totally fine now, but growing up I couldn't really do sports like other kids. I was super skinny, clumsy, and got bullied constantly for being the nerdy kid who sucked at football. Our high school PE teacher, Mr. Davis, was one of those annoying sports guys who loved making fun of kids who weren't athletic. He was always pushing this jock culture thing where it was cool to laugh at anyone who couldn't keep up. I watched him make my friend Tyler do this gymnastics jump over a stool even though Tyler was way too heavy for it. Tyler fell so hard he cracked his head open and had to get stitches. Every single week we'd do basketball or soccer, and I'd have to sit down every few minutes to catch my breath. My heart condition meant I couldn't do those explosive sports where you're constantly sprinting and stopping. Mr. Davis would always make comments about me being the weakest kid in class. He'd say stuff like, "Oh, there goes the champion again, taking another break." The other kids would laugh, and I just had to take it. But here's what Mr. Davis didn't know. I was actually really good at endurance sports. As long as I wasn't doing those quick bursts of energy, I could keep going forever. I fell in love with road cycling when I was 14. I'd go on these long rides up mountains, and I was genuinely good at it. I was skinny enough that climbing hills was easy for me, and I had the stamina to just keep pedaling for hours. I never told anyone at school about it though. Then one day Mr. Davis announced we were having a sports day. The whole class was taking a bus to the top of this mountain about an hour away to go hiking. But then he says, anyone who wants to can cycle up the mountain with me instead of taking the bus. I'll be riding my bike up there if you think you can keep up. Nobody volunteered except me. The whole class started laughing. Mr. Davis looked surprised and goes, "You sure about that? I'm not gonna wait for you if you can't keep up." I just smiled and said I'd be fine. What he didn't know was that mountain was literally my home hill. The climb started like a kilometer from my house. I'd ridden up that thing over 100 times. I knew every turn, every steep section, exactly how to pace myself. It was 12 kilometers long with a pretty steady uphill grade the whole way. Perfect for someone like me. The day of the sports day, I showed up to school in my full cycling outfit with my racing bike. I'd done a warm-up that morning, ate the right food, everything. I was treating this like the most important race of my life. I weighed 55 kilograms, and I was ready. Mr. Davis rolled up on this heavy mountain bike in regular gym clothes, probably weighing 90 kilograms. He was a middle-aged ex-soccer player who clearly thought this was gonna be easy. We started riding, and he set a pretty hard pace on the flat road before the mountain. I just stayed behind him and didn't say anything. He probably thought he was already pushing me to my limit. Then we hit the actual climb, and I could immediately tell he was struggling way more than he expected. But he was still going slower than I normally rode up that mountain. I didn't attack him right away though. That wouldn't be satisfying enough. Instead, I pulled up next to him and started talking. I was like, "Hey, Mr. Davis, someone's probably gonna get dropped today. Would be pretty embarrassing if the whole class found out I beat you, right?" Then I moved in front of him and started going just a little bit faster. Not enough to drop him completely, just enough to make him hurt. I could see after about 3 kilometers that he was dying. His face was bright red and he was breathing super hard. So I'd slow down just a tiny bit to let him recover, then speed up again. I kept him right at that breaking point for like 30 minutes. It was the most fun I'd ever had on my bike. We got near the top and I finally let loose on the last 300 meters. I sprinted ahead and he just completely fell apart behind me. When I got to the parking lot at the top, I was barely breathing hard. Mr. Davis rolled up a minute later looking like he was about to die. He tried to say something about his bike being too heavy, but I could tell he knew that was bull. Then it got even better. He was so exhausted that he walked over to the side of the parking lot and threw up, right there in front of like 10 of my classmates who had already gotten off the bus. Word spread through the whole class in like 5 minutes. Our big tough PE teacher got destroyed by the skinny kid and puked from exhaustion. He had to sit out the entire hike after that. I just sat there next to him in silence, enjoying every second of it. He never made a single comment about me in PE class again.